ourselves at the stadium that played host to Super Bowl 52, the wondrous U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. Today, we've got a good Week 5 matchup in store here between the Denver Broncos and the Minnesota Vikings. The first quarter of the season already in the rearview mirror, and off we go in Week 5 on EA Sports. Kenny Nwangu now out of his end zone. And that decision to bring it out ends up not being a good one. Cost him about 5 yards as he's tackled at the 20.
Let's go now.
They'll start by running the option to the right. And he'll have this past the 30 prior to going out of bounds. 12 yards on the gain. A great start for this offense. That may be a sneak peek on this opening drive of what this young rookie can showcase, his legs.
And normally, as you start a game, you're just thinking, can he get the snap? Can he hand off? Can he just execute? Instead, he doesn't waste any time on wrapping another dimension to his game, showing off those wheels, and picking up some nice yardage.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. Looking to throw. Adams. And just not enough on the throw there. Down around his feet and incomplete. The Vikings at 3-1 here through their first 4 games. And they're hitting their stride of late. Winners of 3 of their last 4.
And I thought that they played pretty well last week. Their execution, their discipline, their resilience, all on display in that victory.
An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Off the play fake. Adams steps away. Looking left sideline. It's complete. On the move past the 40. He's still on his feet. Touchdown, Vikings. Great effort there. With his first career NFL touchdown. And the Vikings need just 3 plays to get down and take the early lead. Well, Charles, kind of the future of this franchise on display right there. You had a rookie throwing it, a rookie catching it, and taking it into the end zone.
Could you imagine if we were in the owner's box right now and we could look at the front office and see the grins on their faces, to see the present making plays and knowing what the future will bring with these youngsters going out and making big-time moments happen for this team.
Joseph connects on the extra point, and that makes the score 7-0. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. From a yard or 2 deep, here comes a return. So 1st and 10 here for Wilson and the Broncos at their own 18. They start the drive on the ground. It's Williams. And he's got some space here. And he's going to be out of bounds right at midfield. That one good for 33 and a first. You know, I have a pretty good friend, Charles Davis, who tells me that when he sees plays like that, the strong runs to the right, reminds him of the 1960s Green Bay Packers.
Boy, those were the days back when the fullback actually carried the ball as well as blocked. Then you had a halfback Yeah, pulling guards, guys who can get out and run. And you can hear the great coach saying it back then. So we get a seal here and a seal here, and we run this play right in the alley.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Throwing is Wilson. Pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down. Darius Smith there getting in and bringing him to the ground.
I spent a lot of extra time preparing for this game, watching this offensive line, because they gave up 5 sacks last week in their loss. They just gave up another one now. They don't seem to be working together as a cohesive unit. Right? 4 guys might have it right, but the 5th guy is giving something up. They've got to find a way to all get on the same page.
This one complete to Jerry Jeudy. And he's going to be taken down just shy of the 35.
Even against double coverage, he found enough of an opening for a noticeable gain. 2 guys on him, yet he finds a way to uncover downfield for the completion.
So they need to get to the 29 if they want to pick up a first here on 3rd down. Now we give up the middle to Williams. And I don't think he got there, no. Just short by maybe a foot, maybe. Call it 4th and inches.
We're watching the runner having a really nice game. Carrying it very well. Vision is excellent, but boy, look at the help he's getting. Offensive line, I think they're pretty eager to block for him.
They run. It's Williams. And he's got the first as they'll bring him down at the 28-yard line. They only got a couple, but a couple's all that they needed as they convert on 4th. Just enough push up front. He only needed about 6 inches. He didn't get a whole lot more than that.
No, but he made sure he got enough so they didn't have to worry about measuring it or making it even close. Ends up picking up a couple of yards in a situation, as you noted, where he only needed inches.
They snap it at 1. Now Wilson. His throw incomplete.
Well, it looked like they marched to the end zone as hit a momentary roadblock with that incompletion. No need to panic. They just got to come up with a high percentage play call and see if they can get their offense back on track.
On 2nd down, Williams. And that'll hurt the average a bit as this time they're able to get him behind the line. It'll go as a loss of a yard, so now they deal with 3rd and 11.
Well, they've had success on the ground on this drive, and that makes the defense more likely to overcommit to stop the run as they did on that play. But keep in mind, it makes them susceptible to play-action passes as well.
On 3rd down, Wilson. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
Pressure on the first quarter. He sacked him once, now they get in there and knock another one away. I think maybe that Tucker rule being gone makes defenses a lot bolder.
Yes, indeed. That time, lucky that the arm is going forward, incomplete pass. So both teams come away with points on their opening drives. Now they still trail. They answered the touchdown with a field goal, but at least able to break that goose egg here early.
And that is what's important, right? Because they didn't let that initial touchdown go unanswered. Took the ball themselves, moved it downfield, and put it through the post for 3 points. Game on.
Following the field goal on is Riley Dixon to kick this one away. Fields it right around the goal line. And he will make it to the 20-yard line and no further. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. Well, certainly they'd rather have the scenario they had last time out, Charles. Remember, they had the short field. They took it in the end zone. Now this is going to have to be a longer, more sustained drive if they want to get points.
Yeah, a little bit more of a quick strike opportunity last time by where they were in the field, and you're exactly right about that. But now, backed up a little bit. What's that old expression we love to use? Time to matriculate the ball down the field and try and do it again.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. They run the counter with Cook. Fights forward for only about a yard up to the 21.
Well, they didn't get a whole lot out of that one, but I think you got to continue to try and run it, try and keep the defense honest.
You mean, or also just sit back, dare you to throw it on every down?
Yeah, you get your quarterback hit a lot that way, too.
And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game. Back to throw. Adams. And he'll be stopped short of the first down as they rally to tackle him at about the 28. Pretty solid gain of 7 yards that time as he scrambled, but now they face a 4th down.
That looked great when he first took off because in my mind, there was room to run and he had the marker in his sight. But I certainly didn't expect him to close so quickly, and neither did he. They got to him just in time, and now that forced him to make a decision with this 4th down call.
He was only asked to punt once in the victory last week as he sends this one away. And he goes out of bounds just shy of the 45. Give him 11 yards that time on the return. And the Broncos take over. 1st down and 10. The Broncos onto the field ready to start their next drive. And a methodical drive last time, but they couldn't get that knockout blow. They had to settle for 3.
But you got to like what they've been doing along the way, right? It's almost like the body blows, the setup punch. As you said, they didn't get the knockout blow here, but that doesn't mean it can't come later in the game on another possession. And the defense on the other side,
maybe a little gas.
Yeah, right? A little tired. And if nothing else, they just feel relieved getting upfield, only giving up 3. They don't exactly feel like they've handled the offense.
60 yards rushing for him as he's got the afternoon off to a great start. 8 yards the gain on that last run. Here's 2nd and a couple. Again, it's Williams. And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he can even get started. It will be a loss of a full 3 yards there, and it also brings up 3rd down.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
Man open, he's got it complete to Cortland Sutton. And he will have a Broncos 1st down by about a yard as they find a way to convert there on 3rd down and 5. A give to Williams, rolling right. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. 2nd down. Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. Up the middle, it's Williams. And a good job of finding the open space to run as he's down close to the 30 here. A 10-yard pickup, and it's enough for a Broncos 1st down. Well, he's broken off some big-time runs here in this 1st half.
Yeah, and let's just face it. When you go into a game, you think you got the plays that are going to work, but when you actually get out there and they're starting to happen, your confidence rises, and he's running with terrific ability right now.
Marcus Davenport there to take him down. On 2nd and 7, Wilson. He finds his man, complete. That's Baker. And he'll be marked down at about the 26-yard line.
That might feel like a little bit of a lost opportunity there for the offense because the defense brought pressure that time. And sometimes against that, you can get out to your running back, and it can turn into a big gain downfield. But what a nice job they did getting to him quickly and holding him to a short gain.
And he'll lose yardage here, going down back at the 28. They'll end up losing a couple yards here on the play. And that'll bring up 4th down.
No surprise they decided to throw on 3rd down. A little bit of surprise that they completed the pass and lost yardage on the play.
And his kick here is good. And they'll get it back within a point at 7-6. So the margin shrinks there as they get the field goal to draw them a bit closer here in the second quarter.
Yeah, nice snap, nice hold. They just want to keep this game close, so give them credit for finishing that one off with 3.
Nwangu now from his end zone. And no alley to be found. The coverage was solid, and he's dropped at the 18. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. Obviously not the intended goal last drive. They had to punt the football, but still, they've got the lead here, and now a chance to add on to that lead. And they can get points on this drive. 1st and 10 upcoming. They may want to go back to that one. First play of the drive, good for 15 and a 1st down.
We use the word relentless a lot with guys who are aggressive on the field. In this case, it really fits, doesn't it? How about his ability to break tackles and his feet never stop moving?
They run again on 1st down. Cook. And this defense able to plug him up there as he'll get a yard to the 35.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is a force of nature in the defensive tackle position. Yes, he's as big as they come, but still plenty agile. He's able to make a nice play there to swallow up the ball carrier.
Adams to throw on 2nd down. He'll be brought down by the Broncos. It's a sack. Randy Gregory able to record his 5th sack of the season.
In every game we talk about what are going to be the keys as we go into it. Maybe that's a key for their defense today. Pressure the quarterback and make sure you play a good zone defense behind them, and they get their 1st sack of the contest.
Going to need a crafty play call here. 14 yards is what they need to try to convert this thing. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Under pressure, they got him again. Baron Browning providing a little deja vu. Back-to-back sacks, and now they're staring at a 4th and long. So on 4th down, on is the punter, Ryan Wright. Let's take it inside his own 40. And he'll go out of bounds. It appears right at the 45. It'll be 37 yards there on the punt. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And after the field goal last time, we'll see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them wanted to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you met fan bases that wanted that. They weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick, other than the extra point. That's it.
The 1st down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5. They'll send a receiver here in motion right. They'll bring a receiver in motion left. Williams going to get it again on 2nd down. And that play will go nowhere. Losing yardage back near midfield at the 49. A loss on that play, and now 3rd down gets tougher. 3rd and 6. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. The Vikings are going to beef up their secondary here. 6 DBs on 3rd. A toss to the wide side. This is Williams. On a determined run there as he's going to take this all the way down near the 40. 87 yards rushing for him as he has been tough to stop here in this first half.
I definitely like the play call. You don't expect it on 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6, do you? You expect a pass play. A little courage there to call the run. Boy, they were successful.
And he sneaks his way forward only for a couple here. 2nd down.
Well, any lane that might have been open there was closed pretty quickly, and that was because the defensive front, they won that battle at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. They used great leverage, held their spot, and stacked him up.
Now they'll throw it with Wilson. Sideline throw, it's complete. And a nice job there of keeping the toes inbounds.
I do have to admit, I like it when it all comes together. When the top part, catching the football, right, whether you're catching it with your hands or cradling it, comes together with the legs, in this case the feet, doing a little toe tap to stay in bounds.
Williams loses the football, and the Vikings pick up the football. And they have the football and will take off at the 24-yard line. Now to start their next drive. And not an abundance of time remains on the clock, Charles, but you would think more than enough to try to extend this lead before intermission.
And when you're talking about extending the lead, I think you're talking about aiming for the end zone because there is plenty of time for that. The fallback is to get 3. But in your mind, you put 6 on the board right before the half. That's a heck of a dagger and great momentum to carry into the locker room.
From the 24, they'll go again on 2nd and 10. Coming right, this is Cook on the toss play. Fights through it. And they're able to get this one across the 35. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. Following the good run by Cook, here's another 1st and 10. Looking to throw. Adams. That's caught by the big tight end, T.J. Hockenson. Now another timeout called for by the offense as they get the stoppage with just under 50 seconds remaining in half number 1. So now then, the big play has them all the way inside the 30 now, 1st and 10. Back to throw. Adams. This ball complete to Rager. And they're going to be set up now with the ball at the 13-yard line. From the 13 now, they work on 1st and 10. And he's taken down at the 7 after a gain of 7.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on 1st down, that fits the bill.
So on 2nd down, the field goal unit is on here as they try to get 3 before half. From the left hash, should be a fairly easy one here. Joseph's got it, and that will do it for this first half. So we've reached halftime here in a 4-point game. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. Broncos getting the football first in this second half as they trail, and we are back underway. And here comes a return from a few steps into the end zone. And in hindsight, probably should have taken a knee as he only gets this out to the 16-yard line. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. It's been a tight game to this point. What do they need to do, Charles, to break through in the second half and take the lead?
Well, I think the first thing they need to do is thank their defense for keeping them in this game. And, you know, I think the defense is saying back to them,
Why don't you guys focus on getting some first downs, putting some drives together, give us a little bit of a break here. If we can get some rest, we'll play even better for you. And, oh, by the way, pay off a few of those drives with some points, too.
They go play action with Wilson. And he goes down. It's a sack. They get him back at his own 3-yard line. James Lynch, credit him with a sack, and it goes as a loss of 6. So after the sack, a scenario you certainly don't work on too often. 2nd and 24. Wilson. And he will find his man Sutton. That's complete.
And that was yardage that they needed there after the sack on first down. They didn't get all of it back. And now they look at 3rd down as a manageable situation, one that they have a much better chance of picking up.
Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first. They go play action now. Wilson. That's complete. It's Greg Dulcich. And he will have the Broncos first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
When this offense can get their tight ends involved, they can move the football. Here, a nice route, able to look it in, and picks up the first down.
To get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
Offense looked a little bit discouraged after that play, shaking their heads a bit, looking at each other. I think they thought they'd get a lot more out of that call. Sometimes you do get the running lane you want, and other times the defensive front, they just break up the play before it can get going.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. Now it's Wilson. Oh, ball batted in the air, and now it's intercepted. Picked off by Byron Murphy. There he goes, left side. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. Well, Charles, just some visibly frustrated players and coaches on that sideline right now because those halftime adjustments didn't work. The turnover problems continuing here in the second half, and the defense now sitting pretty comfortably as a result of that pick 6.
That's a great observation, too, Brandon, because they did make adjustments at halftime. But how about this other group staying a step ahead despite whatever happened in that other locker room? No surprise they're leading, and it's appropriate that those defenders got to add to the lead directly.
And in hindsight, probably should have taken a knee as he only gets this out to the 16-yard line. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. They're sort of seeing themselves spiral out of control. Let's see if they can get things back on track.
And this is where the coach is walking that line of being calm and really being firm with his team. I had one tell me once, when we were having a tough patch, this too shall pass, this too shall pass, and then finally we kept having a rough patch. He said, but you got to do something to make it pass, and that's what they have to do. They've got to get some control back, get themselves reasserted, and calm things down.
See if they can get calm and reassert themselves here. Williams going to get it again on 2nd down. And this time not as successful as he'll get back to the line of scrimmage and no more. No gain on the play there, so they're left with a 3rd down and 6.
When we talk about defenders, specifically linebackers, keeping their eyes in the right spot. He had that eye down the entire time.
And you know that's not easily done because they throw a lot of misdirection at you. They try and fool you and get your eyes in the wrong place. But you're right about that one. He correctly figured that one out and made a really nice.
Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. And the Vikings are going to take possession of the football. So opening drive interception to begin this second half.
And just think about the time you spent the locker room going over what you expected to do in the second half. Not the way they saw it, not the way they drew it up. You find out this is something that you can't just edit, right? There's no rewrite here. This is live, and now they've got to find a way out of this hole.
It's a loss of 4 there, bringing up 2nd down.
Well, sometimes that option can get bogged down before the gears really even get into motion, and I think that's what we saw there.
And I think what he saw defensive end right in his face because he looked up and he was right there. Didn't even have a chance to get going.
And inside the 20 before he's brought down. 45 yards rushing for him now on just 6 carries to this point.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
Second down. Here's an option right. Only a yard there on the keeper, and that's going to leave him with a 3rd down.
So he is able to turn that into positive yardage, but I think it's fair to say that those are not the shots you're wanting your quarterback to have to absorb.
And he has to know sometimes when to say when. You have to know when to give yourself up, and let's face it, not easy for these guys to do because they're competitors as well. But sometimes you do learn your lesson the hard way, as he did there.
And they'll get him down short of the 1st down, right on the 10-yard line. They'll get 6 there on the run, but it brings up 4th down.
Here's Greg Joseph now to try the field goal.
From the left hash, a chip shot here. The kick by Joseph is good.
So he's been automatic to this point of the season, and he commits on the field goal there.
What a luxury it is to have a kicker you can depend upon, partner, because he hasn't missed all year long. Converts on that one as well. And kudos to you. You didn't jinx it.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away.
This is going to be returned from the middle of the end zone.
And they'll be backed up a bit to start as he's out of bounds at the 16. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership.
Glad to have you with us from Minneapolis. 3rd quarter here, 2nd and 10.
Now it's Wilson. And Sutton hauls it in over the middle. That'll leave them with a 3rd and 2 coming up. They got 8 yards there.
He decided to run a hitch route. It really helped to have a guy who can turn it loose. And, boy, he rifled one in there on that one. Not much run after catch, but it worked really well.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Now a man who's been busy this afternoon, it's Williams. And he's able to pick up the 1st down here before he goes down at the 26. And they're not going to get to the line to run another play. So we will switch ends as the 3rd quarter has come to a close.
They show run with 3 tight ends here on first down. Play action. Now Wilson. This one swung out to Williams. And he gets this up across the 35 before he's out of bounds. Fourth quarter, every drive's so critical, and you figure they only get one more shot after this, so a touchdown's imperative on this drive.
It is, but you also have to think to yourself in play calling, don't hold anything back. Don't save it for the second touchdown. You got the first one for the second one to even matter.
Wilson's throw taken in here by Patrick. And out across midfield down to the 45. That one a gain of 20 and a first down.
All right, this is the time of the game where they're down a couple of scores, and they've really got to get some yards in chunks, and they know the defense doesn't want to give those up, but they've got to find a way to take them anyway.
Now the question is, can they string a few of those together? Play action. It's Wilson. The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack. James Lynch able to get in there for his second sack of the afternoon.
Well, partner, I would say just avoid play action, but that's not just been the problem. This defense, they've been getting pressure on all types of pass plays and really piling up the sacks in this contest.
They'll set up the screen. This is Williams. And that play will go nowhere. Losing yardage back near midfield at the 49. They lose 2 on that last play, so things get even tougher. 3rd and long coming up. Here's Wilson. Over the middle, complete to Judy. And he gets this only to the 41. Not near enough for the first. They pick up 10, but it'll still lead to a 4th down.
So much about this game is just understanding situations and then having to execute, isn't it? Guard the first down sticks. Don't let them get there. And they rallied and made the tackle.
Here we go. It's Wilson on 4th down. And Wilson's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked on by Murphy. They saw the pressure coming out, and that just looked problematic. Him as he threw it, and the interception ensued.
The man has stood in this spot before. He always talked about how much pressure is in the face of a guy, and can he step into a throw. And when you can't do that, oftentimes interceptions result.
They start the drive with Cook. And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the first down run. He gets maybe 3. Got to figure now, after getting that turnover, they're just going to be happy to keep the ball on the ground, right?
This is where covering the football, taking care of the ball, all the ball security terms that have ever been used, they come into play for the guys on offense right now. Just take care of it, and they've got a good chance of ending up winning this game.
And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. Now they're going to be dealing with a 3rd and 7. Is that one officially a loss of 1?
Now that's a nice play. Got me fired up, partner. But can they do it back-to-back plays? All the training that you go through as a defense for these situations, when you have to get the ball back, everything you go through, holding up the runner, raking at the football, getting to the passer, knocking it out of his hands, whatever way, they have to get the ball back.
Now can they stand tall again for a huge 4th quarter stop? 72 yards rushing now for Cook, and this is a 1st down.
Well, that's a carry they have to be satisfied with, and throughout this game, they've been satisfied with what he's given them. Whenever they've needed a big run, a 1st down, he's the guy they've turned to. And it doesn't matter what the defense thinks. They've got the confidence to keep handing it to him and keep picking up good yardage.
If nothing else, they've already taken a couple minutes off the clock here already as they come up 2nd down. So the Vikings in possession of the football as we get you reset. And the scoreboard on their side, they're just looking to melt away these final couple of minutes and put this one in the left-hand column.
Give him 3 yards, and now they're left needing a conversion here on 3rd and 6. The recipe's pretty simple, I think, right? Just give your superstar the ball and continue to feed him.
Yeah, don't overthink this one, right? Make sure he's touching the football, but you're also counting on his intelligence in playing the game as well. If it's not there, don't force the run. Just make sure you hang on to the football and keep the clock ticking.
Call it a gain of 4, and it'll bring up 4th down.
You know, we might start getting some props here in the booth. You know, that one that says the D and then the fence that you put up next to it? How about that? They brought out the jumbo package and still couldn't move them off the line of scrimmage enough to pick up that first down.
Impressive. They were ready defensively for that jumbo set. Joseph's got it, and that will extend their lead even further. So with that, you figure this game's pretty much out of reach at this point.
Yeah, it's going to take a heck of a comeback to cut from 3 scores down, but don't change that channel. Don't go away. Miracles can happen, and you want to be here in case it does.
You're a company man.
Aren't I, though?
This will be returned from deep in the end zone. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. Where we stand right now in the 4th quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked up by Lewis. For this defense, CD, that's kind of the icing on the cake here as we get to the end of this one.
And then you feel that they weren't just going into total prevent there. You know, they have the lead, and sometimes you fall back and you lose your aggressiveness. Not in this case. They were still making a play on the football, and look how that one turned out. They may have salted this one away.
2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down.
You've got to be impressed by that defensive front on reps like those. They were not being moved off the line, kept their shoulders square, and gave their teammates time to fight to the ball and limit that gain.
Now Cook hit, and he lost the football. It's picked up by the Broncos. And that will write a finish to this ball game. So the final seconds have ticked away in this Minnesota victory. And it was their defense that really made the statement after the break. They pitched the second half shot.
Yeah, think about the team that just got vanquished. They did score in the 2nd quarter. Do you think they thought that
the second half, the adjustment, whatever they did in the locker room, it certainly worked.
It certainly did, and you're exactly right. Whether it was an adjustment, whether it was just more focus on what they planned to do going in, whether they just played better, whatever it was, it all came together in the 2nd half, and no points were allowed. That's a great way to close them out.
So for the Vikings, they boost their record up to a strong 4-1, and they'll get to stay home again next week. Meanwhile, for the Broncos, they'll fall to 1-4 with a loss.